Is Xbox One media bias a real thing? Is there some sort of conspiracy against Microsoft to take down Xbox One and Scorpio? Stay tuned for more. Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Mads and you're watching the Mads Gaming News channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook, so check the links in the description of this video below. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell button to stay up to date with the latest news. So there is a new buzzword right now on Xbox One media bias, right? I mean, there's a lot of people saying and claiming that Xbox One and Xbox Scorpio and Microsoft is being attacked too much, that they should get more praise and for what they're doing and that kind of stuff, right? So overall, there's actually many people claiming that media has actually picked on the Xbox and Microsoft and that the company and the console is being attacked too much, even though it's a good console, and obviously Microsoft is trying its best to actually give users the good console experience and stuff. And to be honest with you, I don't totally agree with this, because I don't think there's any particular media bias towards Xbox or Microsoft. There is no such thing as this conspiracy theory that Microsoft needs to be taken down and stuff. There's no shadow kind of media thing going on in the background against Microsoft. I don't think so. And I can understand that some people may perceive what's going on as a media bias, and I can obviously recognize some of the outlets or some of the journalists or generally speaking super fans attacking Xbox, and some people may have some sort of agenda of their own, because everyone has its own opinion, everyone has its own preference, and sometimes this preference may actually get into their some of the articles and stuff, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's not like everyone is actually trying to get Microsoft down and obviously Xbox One down and eliminate from the market. Because if you look at the history of media or general gaming media, and I think that's media in general as well, depending on who is the market leader, the media bias may actually shift from one side to the other. And I've seen it a couple of times already. I mean, back in the days, Nintendo was the buzzword. Everyone loved Nintendo and stuff, right? Now look what's going on with Nintendo. There's so much hate towards Nintendo and stuff that's just unbelievable, especially after the initial Nintendo Switch reveal. Everyone was bashing Nintendo for what they're doing and stuff, right? So generally speaking, whenever media is actually seeing something good or bad, they sort of take sides and they either praise something or bash it. The same thing can be said about PlayStation 3. Back in the days when it was only released, even though that PlayStation 3 was a more powerful console, even though PlayStation was a better brand overall, there's so many articles and videos on YouTube and commentaries about PlayStation 3, about its lack of performance in some games and stuff. So PlayStation 3 had a very hard time for the first 2 or 3 years of after their launch, really. And Xbox 360 back in the days was considered to be a better choice for a console, because there was a couple of things that Sony actually did wrong, and that was actually picked up on, right? So it's not like media is actually picking up on somebody just because of some agenda. Because if they do see some weakness and they see something wrong with the console, they will just shout about it. That's the way it works. So, back in the last generation, Xbox 360 was the more favorable console for the media and some gamers as well, although it did change towards the end of the generation, right? So same with Xbox One right now. PlayStation 4 is actually leading the market, so it's a leader. The PlayStation 4 user base is almost like 60 million users. So obviously media will favor PlayStation 4 and PlayStation brand overall, because there's actually bigger market for that kind of articles. There's going to be more people reading about it. There's actually going to be more people interested in those articles. That's the way it works. If Microsoft were to lead this generation and they had this kind of lead over PlayStation 4, most media would probably shift their focus towards the Microsoft and they would bash PlayStation. I can guarantee you that. That's the way it works. And to be just completely fair with you, there's been a couple of good, moments for Xbox One as well. I mean, let's face it, Xbox One is losing the sales and the number of games, at least in terms of exclusives and stuff. PlayStation 4 is the favorable kind of console among the gamers, so that's where all the good articles about PlayStation are coming from. But Xbox One had a couple of good moments as well. When Xbox One was released, pretty much everyone was praising the console for its looks, for the size, for the internal power supply, and obviously the new buzzword 4K Ultra HD player, right? So Xbox One S did get a lot of attention from the media, and the reviews were very positive. Same with Forza Horizon 3. These games got really good scores. Almost 90 at Metacritic, and the game won a couple of awards, and I haven't really seen anyone picking on this particular game. Why? Because the game is actually good. So if there is something good about something, a hardware, a game, I don't think that too many people would actually argue about it and would actually bash the product. Same with Gears of War. I mean, Gears of War is a really good game, and I haven't really noticed any bad press about this game, to be honest with you. And just to be completely fair, even with PlayStation 4 Pro, I'm surely you've noticed how did the media react towards the console. Their reviews were just okay, but many did say that there's no reason to buy PlayStation 4 Pro if you own PlayStation 4 already, because there's not much of a difference. So I would say that was a fair statement. So I haven't really seen anyone running around screaming that media are biased towards the PlayStation right now. I don't really agree with people that actually say that there's some sort of agenda against Xbox and Microsoft and stuff, because let's just face it, Microsoft has made so many bad decisions around the end of Xbox 360 life cycle and beginning of Xbox One life cycle, and it's still sort of dragging behind them, and that's just reality thing. So I can understand that some people may actually have some sort of agenda, but that's more of a personal preference, personal vendetta, rather than saying that IGN is biased against Xbox or something like that. Because when I watch the Unlocked, Ryan McAfee and other guys talking about Xbox, I don't really see any bias against Xbox in their shows. Look at some of the Xbox One YouTubers like Randall Thor or Xkalel from Tick Podcast. Those guys are really down to earth guys, and they actually praise the console whenever makes sense, and they will also bash the console whenever something needs to be addressed. And this is the thing, you cannot really praise your platform of choice all the time. If it does deserve criticism, we should just go ahead and say so. That's the way it is, but that's just me. You may have a different opinion, and obviously I'm sure there's so many people in love with their piece of plastic that they will not take any piece of criticism against their console, and that's the way they are, that's the way they will always function, and no matter what sort of facts you will present to them, they will not change their mind. You may burn them, you may threat them with death and stuff, and they will still be singing this Xbox or PlayStation song of praise, of praise, if you know what I mean, Overall, I don't think there's any secret agenda against Xbox right now. I can guarantee you, if Scorpio will become a success, media will be more favorable towards the Xbox and a brand and Microsoft. I can guarantee you. If Scorpio will be a success, I'm just saying, though. I'm not saying it is going to be success, because there's no way of me telling me right now, but that may be the case. And I think that wraps up this video, really. So thank you very much for tuning in and obviously sharing all my videos with others. I really do appreciate that. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. And if you did, you know the drill. Let me know what you think about it. Comment in the comment section below. Hit the like button, subscribe, and you take care. Bye.